That's a very, very common answer. How many people here feel like your primary source of fun is drinking? So this is a really, really common answer, and I'm glad you went there, Sean. That's why I said when I was doing the quality of life, I'm like, people really neglect fun and recreation. And there are two pieces to this that I think are important to point out. And again, I'm I'm putting the cart before the horse a tiny bit, but it's okay. You guys were good enough. We can jump a little into what we'll be doing in day 3 and day 4. So most people come to things like this thinking to themselves the following. Most people come to this saying, I have to figure out how to not drink, or at least drink less, which still means not drink some of the drinks that I would otherwise be drinking. It didn't take 7 years of studying neuroscience for this. It actually took a bus ride next to a woman who at the time was the head of the Massachusetts Department of Health and Human Services. So it really took 30 minutes to learn what I'm about to teach you, maybe 12, as we were heading to a conference and she was sitting right next to me. But this was the most revelatory piece of the puzzle for me in my addiction study journey. And this woman, in her major area of expertise was actually obesity, not addiction. But you can think of at least part of the reason why people have obesity issues is because of eating and compulsive eating issues. So there's at least that piece to it. And one of the major things that around obesity research has to be done is changing people's habitual behavior, which is not all that different than what we're trying to do here. And so on this bus ride, she just drops this little nugget. I don't think she knew it was going to be that important for me. She says, you know what I learned in my 30 years? I learned that we're really, really bad at getting people to stop doing anything. We are much, much better at getting people to do something else instead. Everybody wants to figure out how to drink less. But what we actually have to do is do something else more. And that's going to be your ticket. So here's the unfortunate thing about that, Sean, and I'll just come right on and say it. And we will analyze this to death over the next 5.5 more days. The drinking is not just quick and fast. It's habitual, so it's automatic, so it's easy to do. Initially, drinking took a little bit more work. Years and years and years and years and years ago, it took a little bit more work, right? Like you had to remember to go get the drink, or you had to remember to do the thing to get the alcohol to solve the problem. But over the years, our brain, through repetition, has gotten so good at this. It's a habit. People talk about like riding a bicycle, but it's like walking. I'm going to give you the proof that it's not the alcohol that fixes it, but it's the habit. You start feeling better the moment the alcohol touches your tongue. The moment that drink is open and you go, oh. I mean, I know everybody here is smart enough to understand the alcohol hasn't done anything yet. It's not even in your stomach yet. It like barely touched the taste is already predicting the future outcome, which is giving you the relief. That's a description of what is happening to you right now. Here's the challenge for all of us. And we're all in this together. So we're all struggling with this in the same way. Our job is to start finding these replacement behaviors and load up our lives with them. So 𝐀𝐝𝐢 mentioned one of these things, and it's a big tip. You know how a lot of people say, take the alcohol out of your house? Pam just mentioned there was alcohol in my house. So sure, taking the alcohol out of your house helps. I don't know if you guys know this or not, though, but alcohol is still sold in stores everywhere you live. No behavior happens without the trigger. Sort of true, but sort of ignores what a trigger is in addiction. Anything is a trigger in addiction. How do you eliminate boredom, anxiety, stress, people, no people, too much noise, too little noise, like, anger, memory from the past? You can't eliminate this stuff. Seeing the door of the liquor store across the street, everything is a trigger. So sure, take the alcohol out of your house because it just makes it harder to get it. Like you now have to go take a trip. But here's what's missing out of that equation. On the trip where you go to the store, load yourself up with really, really fun non-alcoholic drinks that you actually like,